Anyway, I was going to be right here, so we're going more into it. We've just found out the murder. It was Sheringham who was killed, so the detective himself was the first to be taken out. Honestly, my guess is still Juliet, because why not suspect one you would normally never suspect? At least that's my line of thinking. And you know, this is a thing, I'm very slow. The Goldie and Violet family, they're named that because of the hair colors. I totally didn't even know that. Or at least I should say I didn't recognize that at all. That makes me think, how many characters share the same hair color? Anyway, that's just a thing I just thought about. Anyway, let's get into it. It's clear who Sheringham was meeting with? What do you mean? Exactly what I said. If no one there is left-handed, that tells us all we need to know about his guest. But couldn't the culprit just use their non-dominant hand to cover things up? Perhaps when meeting someone for the first time, but you're unlikely to hide your dominant hand from someone you spent a deal of time with. With a notable exception of Sheringham, each of the characters here belong to his or her respective communities, factions if you like. You attended the meal where everyone was present. If there was a southpaw present who suddenly began using their right hand, someone would have said something. Given that it did not happen, we can conclude that no one there is left-handed. I do so hate to nitpick, but what if someone there is secretly ambidextrous? It wouldn't make any difference, Professor. An ambidextrous person, by definition, will have no issue using their right hand. But according to Chris, Sheringham specifically requested a left-handed teacup for his guest. Would this be necessary if they could simply just use their right hand? If you have an answer to that question, I'm happy to hear it. So playing devil advocate only strengthened your case. Well, no matter. I do actually happen to agree with you. Do go on. Well, if one were to nitpick at my hypothesis, I cannot deny the possibility that Sheringham could have been meeting with you. The senpai is the culprit? It seems I may have touched a nerve. Not to worry, that possibility is extremely remote. I cannot speak for your dream body's original owner, of course, but based on what you've told us, you wouldn't have had the time. What about a third party? Some mysterious character who's still hiding in the Kogetsukan somewhere. No need for such intricacy, Miss Curilight. Occam's razor provides with a perfectly reasonable explanation. There's a character here who needs to use his left hand, thanks to the injury he suffered to his right. Morris. Oh, that would make sense. And Chris said that he was entertaining a woman, or at least he thought. And if we replace Morris with Mordred, then we must see some sort of feminine characteristic in it. In him, I mean? Maybe. That does make sense, Morris, huh? Most likely, Sheringham noticed Morris's right hand and requested a left-handed teacup out of consideration. But then why would Sheringham feel the need to hide his meeting with Morris from Chris? But there I'm afraid you have it backwards, Miss Curilight. Sheringham wasn't trying to hide Morris from Chris. It was Chris that he was trying to hide from Morris. At least he wished to hide that Chris was bringing the tea. But Morris never said anything about meeting Sheringham. Given what we've been told, we know that Morris is both distrustful and simple-minded. It is no surprise he would try to hide his meeting with someone who is now dead. Speaking up would only arouse suspicion. Even Morris no doubt realizes others are prone to think the worst of him.
Senpai?
Seems we're out of time, but at least we were able to cover up the most pressing matters, albeit briefly. I know it's technically a dream for you. Master, please do your best to stay alert. Oh, good, you're awake. I was quite taken aback that you just passed out after Juliet shoved you. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm no better than Cain. Thank you for carrying them all this way, Chris. Not at all, my purpose here to be of service. Do you now? Did you receive a flash of insight while you were asleep? Well, go on, who was it? I see. It does sound like it could have been Morris. Indeed, we know that Morris injured his right hand, and it may have gotten worse after. In a misjudged feat of machismo, he refused treatment. If only I had known my own strength. Hey, don't beat yourself up. It turned out to be for the best. Now we know who Sheringham met with. Hey Chris, seen Morris anywhere? No, I haven't. We're actually looking for him ourselves. I see, I've been turning the mansion upside down looking for him, but no dice. Is there a problem? Hey sis, the truth is... I see. He might come back after the fact. I'll keep looking around the mansion. You and Chris check outside. We'll come help you too. Come on. We've kind of been letting this place go to seed, so it's a bit of a jungle right now. It's so dense out here. This would be a perfect place to lay low. I don't know about that. Not with these things running around. We better chase them away, Chris. Right. You made those wolves look about as dangerous as puppies. No sense killing them. Wolves aren't good to eat, trust me. Just need to chase them away. Yes, Wu, I'm all done here. Same. Still no sign of the prodigal son though. All I'm seeing out here are more wild animals. I guess he isn't out here after all. This can be a great place to lay low, but not for a pampered city boy. He could try, but he would just end up wolf food if he did. Catch my drift? Don't say things like that. You're scaring me. Don't worry, Miss Juliet. We haven't seen any signs that Mr. Morris was attacked. If he's not out here, that just leaves the sea, but I doubt he'd be out there. There are strong currents out there, and we're much too far from the mainland for an amateur to swim for. Guess there was no sense to looking out here. Let's go back. Finally, they're gone. I'm impressed. It looks like those bodyguards really do live up to their reputation. Is that just a PNG of someone? Like clip art? We're back. Oh hey, any luck? I'm afraid not. We didn't see any sign of him anywhere. Where is Morris? Hasn't anyone found him yet? Honey, I think you've had a little too much to drink. Shut up. No way am I making through this without a stiff drink. I can't believe Morris is missing. Our first priority is to keep you all safe, so I'm afraid we only can spare as many resources to look for Morris. What could be a higher priority than Morris's life? He's my heir, you know. Daddy, why is Morris missing? Not now, Lori. Be quiet. Is it because he killed the detective guy? Don't say things like that, Lori. But I saw him coming out of the detective's room last night. You don't mean that, right, Lori? You and I were both asleep at the time. I woke up real late and snuck out. When I did, I saw him leaving the detective guy's room. Come now. We're not going to take a word of a child seriously over something so important, are we? We don't want to believe it ourselves, Aaron. But don't you think she might be telling the truth? And there's nothing to gain by her lying. Even if she did see him come out of his room, there's no proof Morris killed Sheringham. Honey, please calm down. It seems I let my emotions get the better of me. I'm sorry you had to see that. Not at all. I should apologize for my lack of tact. We may not be able to say for sure if Morris is the killer, but whatever he is, there is every chance that he decides to stay in hiding now. If he does that, the consequences for the Goldie family could be devastating, and our arrangement would come to a grinding halt. We would much rather it not come to that as well. Alright, given the circumstances, I have a confession to make. Not even my wife, Dorothy, knows about this. What are you talking about, honey? I was hoping to take this to my grave, but it seems there is no longer an option. The truth is, I am Chris's father. Huh? Mr. Aaron? Chris, from the look on your face, I see the company never told you. I was once young and foolish myself. I calmed down ever since I got married, but I still did have a habit of spending the night with the woman who really caught my eye. And that's how you were born, Chris. But then I had already married my now ex-wife, and we had Morris together. I couldn't take you in under the circumstances, so I asked the marble company to look after you. Of course, I agreed to pay for your upbringing as well. I had no idea. Morris will, of course, always be the apple of my eye. I am the head of the Goldie family, so I must always do what's necessary for its survival. Wait a second, you're not seriously going to tell us to hand over Chris, are you? You're damn right I am. You're the ones who let Sheringham die, and failed to stop Morris from running away. If anyone else is responsible for this mess, it's the marble company. You're absolutely right. Fortunately, Chris is still an apprentice. We can afford to let him go. You're still calling me an apprentice after all the time we spent training him? Besides, sis, you always seem fond of him. That's enough, Lou. I guess it's a done deal then. Alright, I got it. Looks like you're in luck, Chris. One of these days, you'll be taking over the whole Goldie family. Naturally, I'll be happy to compensate you for your loss. I want to remain in good terms with the marble company after all. Wait, Miss An, please let me finish my job here first. It's the least I can do to pay the company back. Alright, I'll continue to treat you as a marble company man until we leave this island. Nobody is treating the man I named my successor as a common servant. No, never mind. I can see this as a matter of integrity. I will permit it this one time. Miss An, thank you for everything. I'll never forget what you did for me. Hold on, if Chris is joining the Goldie family, then that would mean Juliet will instead be engaged to Chris. That will serve to fulfill our mutual goal. But no way. What's the problem? This has turned out to be a good deal. You should be happy about it. Miss Juliet, I know I have a lot to learn, but I hope I can earn your trust in the time. Okay, that sounds nice. Don't be subservient, Chris. You don't need to worry about what other people think of you now. You'll be running the Goldie. No, the Goldie and Violet families one day. What a delectable dinner. I'm afraid I had a bit too much to eat though. I had to take some antacids. Is something wrong, my dear girl? Do you need some antacids too? No, that's okay, it's not my stomach. Yes, you must have a lot on your mind right now. Process the new terms of your engagement. But I dare say this was a lucky break. I know I would much rather marry Chris than Morris, don't you agree? Are you serious? Why are you all happy about this? What's wrong with you? Where are you going, Juliet? I'm going to my room, just leave me alone. Good grief, as long as I live, I still don't understand women. Still, she's right. I shouldn't have said that. I'll go apologize to her. I heard the whole thing. Pretty sorry sight. No, I'm sure he'll make a great husband. Juliet knows that too. But it's not that simple. Then again, I guess that naivete of yours tugged at her heartstrings in the first place. Look, it doesn't matter what you think, okay? This is how Juliet feels. Did you know she hardly has any friends? In fact, you're the only one she's got left. You really don't know? Didn't you ever run into some shady people at the college trying to scare you about us? You know, people warning you that even though the Violet family is famous, there are a lot of nasty rumors about us. Warning that spending your time around the daughter of the family will mess up your chances at a good life. Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure some of the Goldie family supporters were behind it. It was a really cheap move on their part. Our way of life is built upon blood, sweat, and tears of many people, some of them dead. We're mostly used to things being that way, but Juliet's always had a harder time with it. Juliet knew about our family's reputation too, of course, so she understood when people she thought of as friends stopped spending time with her. It really devastated her, to the point where she'd even cry herself to sleep sometimes. That's why she was glad you didn't let these rumors drive you away. I honestly don't know what she would have done without you. In that sense, you're very special to her, so I hope you remain her friend, as long as you're still okay with that. Well, good night then. It's great being a kid. Nobody gets mad at you for clowning around. You don't have to work like the grown-ups do. But the best part is, nobody ever suspects you. Someone's here. There you are. First you sneak out of bed again, and now you're hiding in the pitch-black dark room. Oh, hi mommy. Looks like she found us, Kane. Yep, guess so. Oh, Lori. I was worried I didn't see you anywhere after I woke up. You have to tell me when you want to play hide and seek. But you always make me go to bed too early. I want to stay up and keep playing. Sorry, Lori, but the game's over once you're found. We'll have to pick this up tomorrow. Thank you, Kane. Morris never plays with her like this. She's so happy to have a new big brother. I like being big brother too. My sisters have always been weirdly grown up, I guess. I can see that. Alright, it's getting late. Time to go back to bed. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go to sleep too. Now where's the light switch? Yep, I love being a kid. No one ever suspects the kid. Good morning, Senpai. What happened this time? So our fan princess found herself betrothed not to a common ruffian, but a perfect prince now. I suppose it does make for a happy ending of sorts, but the narrative term is still lacking. I think it's a wonderful development myself. I'm so happy for Julia I could burst, but then again, I guess this isn't really a time to be saying that sort of thing, is it? Now with Sheringham murdered and Morris missing, there is presently little sense in discussing where Morris's possible whereabouts. There are more important matters to discuss. Indeed, namely the surprise of the new Goldie family heir, which makes him a new target. If the target's goal is to stop the two families from coming together, then it's quite possible they were involved in Morris's disappearance as well. If that's so, the revelation of Chris will have completely blindsided them. As such, they may need to resort to brute force once again. So the thing is, they took out a detective who we don't know if he was actually experienced in martial arts or not. Sherlock just kind of makes the assumption that he isn't, but you could easily just surprise someone, right? Especially if you poison them. Right, poisoning is probably a really better effective way to kill someone than like brute force. Now, let's say they try to brute force Chris. We already know Chris is surprisingly strong, like really strong. So I don't see how they could possibly do that. So what I would think is they would attack Chris, and then Chris would be like, oh, someone attacked me, but it was too dark. Another unexpected development, huh? From the unexpected detective and Chris's parentage. It would seem that luck is against our dear criminal. Just when they thought they had eliminated the Goldie family's sole heir, a new candidate presents himself. If the culprit is going to make another move, it will certainly be at night. They won't want to miss this opportunity after all. I expect they'll go after Chris or Juliet. Senpai, please don't bang your head against the wall. You could give yourself a concussion. Please calm down. If you knock yourself out, there's no guarantee that you will wake up at the Kogetsukan straight away. At any rate, you need to steel yourself for whatever tragedy may come next, if you are to continue the investigation with a clear mind. Though, of course, it would be best if there were no more tragedies at all. Personally, I would like to see like maybe 1 to 2 more people get killed. You know, raise attention. Oh, that one was really short. Tomorrow will be a 2-parter, so that I guess that's going to be pretty freaking long. At least there are no battles in it, but even then, the 2-part is going to be long. The raw recording of these, a little behind the scenes, are technically long. Most of the times they're 40 to 50 minutes long, and I cut it down to 20 minutes because I stumble a lot when I read. I need to get someone to read for me. That'd be nice. I'm not good at it. Other than that, I feel like there's not really too much else to say. Oh, you know what? There is. The part where they say, "Oh, no one suspects the kid." I didn't like that part. I hoped there was going to be something that was going to lead us on to that thought pattern instead of a kid just being like, oh, no one suspects the kid, which is true. I wasn't going to suspect the kids, but I mean, they're there for a reason, right? At this point, you suspect everyone. I didn't want to suspect kid because, oh, well, no one was suspected. I'm hoping that's just a red herring and not true, but it might be. And if it happens to be one of the kids, expect a very, very salty reaction. I think it's just stupid, but that's how I feel. See you guys tomorrow.